Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday to you. It's Friday. Man, it's March 30th already. Spring is finally springing, if I may use that term, and I'm excited. I hope you are too, but what if you're not? Let's talk about it. It's Friday. Most of you are shifting into the weekend mode. It's like it's okay to feel good, but sometimes the day doesn't matter. Maybe you're going through something. I want to talk about a couple things today, just maybe to get you stirred up, maybe to get you to remember some things you already know so you can use them today for your benefit. And I want to talk about oysters and irritation. And by the way, feel free to check in with me. I always love to hear from you what you have to say. Maybe there's something going on in your world. It's always better when these live videos are interactive and people share the great things that people bring to the table. It is Friday. How was your week? Did you have a good week? Did you have a bad week? Are you excited to be closing a chapter in your life? Perhaps you're starting a new chapter in your life. Perhaps you're not excited at all. Perhaps you just maybe kind of lukewarm and you're just trying to figure things out. But I want to serve you today. I want to give you something today of value that you can use right away. Maybe it just interrupts your pattern. Maybe you're in a negative pattern of thinking right now and you can't seem to get out of it. You can't seem to get yourself in motion. I would like to maybe talk about that today to get you to move in a positive direction, maybe to shift things up. We all have our ups and downs, our moments of where we're on purpose and we're feeling it, and then we also have our moments where we're down. And unfortunately, for a lot of us, those down moments can be longer in duration and can cause us maybe to feel like we're unproductive, and the rush of negative feelings can kind of flow in and make us feel like we're stuck. Maybe we get more aggravated with life, and the people in our lives, maybe they start to aggravate us more because we're sensitive, we're our own discontent, like subconsciously, and we don't know how to deal with it and express it. And then unfortunately, maybe it starts to pour out on people in our world, and that's a shame. We don't want that to happen. We want to shake that, but say hello, welcome in. I would love to hear what's going on in your world. These videos are always better when they're interactive, when you guys step in and you share things of value that are important to you, right? I mean, I come in here with a message that I want to share. I have things on my heart that fuel me, that fire me, that keep me going. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't mean anything to you, then it doesn't really matter. What matters is what's on your heart, what you're going through, what maybe small nugget that you could hear that could help you. Or maybe, again, not for me, but maybe something that someone else shares that could make a difference in your day, in your moment. I want to talk about it today, but I want to ask you a question. I got a question for you. Imagine today if we had a device and we could magically measure the world, if we could magically measure, or even your country, and we could measure how everyone felt. Imagine if we could measure the general feeling, like 10 being everyone feels amazing, life is great, 1 being borderline, you just don't want to live anymore. And imagine if we could magically measure the world and how everyone feels. I have a question. Where do you think the number would be? If we could magically measure the world, 10 being everyone feels amazing, 1 being everyone feels extremely bad. How do you think the world feels right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's talk about it. I think it's an interesting question. If we could magically measure how everyone feels, how do you think they would feel? Bring that to me. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. And then I just want to say good morning to everyone. It's great to be back on live. I've missed you all. I'm going to be doing more live videos. Good morning, Jenna, and who else we have on here? Got Derek. Got a bunch of people. Let's see. Happy Good Friday. I'm excited to move forward in my business next week. That's great. You got something you're looking forward to. Would love to hear more about that. Not a good few days. You see, there's always a juxtaposition in life, right? There's always the highs and the lows. And I believe if we could only learn to deal with the lows better and decrease the duration of the lows, we can have a happier, more productive life. To think that we shouldn't feel bad. Sometimes we get mad because we're upset, or we feel bad because we feel bad. Talk about a psychotic loop. I feel bad because I feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad. I should feel better. It's okay to feel bad, right? I want to say, okay, you heard it here. It's okay to feel bad, but it's not okay to stay there. Does that make sense? We want to get out of there. We want to get from and get out as quick as we can. And let me just say hello to Lisa. Holla, what's up? Hey, Lizzie, let's connect today. I'm available. We can talk. If we could measure, we could help better and stop major dangers. The world, for me, is at a 5. You know, I was thinking the same thing. A 5 kind of resonates with me too. So they a 6, me an 8. That's great. That's great feedback there. So we're hovering around a 5 or a 6 in terms of how people feel. And what does that tell you? What does it tell you if the world is hovering, let's just say between a 4 and a 6 in terms of how they feel? 10 being everyone feels amazing. 1 being everyone feels like they don't want to live. If we could magically measure, where would the world stack up? And I'm hearing you say 5 or 6. Let's just call it a 4 or an 8. And what does that tell you about that measurement? If the world, in fact, is at a 4, a 5, or a 6. And what it says to me is that there's room for improvement. And it's people like you and it's people like me that maybe, just maybe, we could have an impact. That we could bring some type of light today. And I would dare to say this, that most of you listening to this do bring light into people's lives every single day, but you devalue it. You don't recognize it. You don't recognize the gift that you really are. You don't recognize or fully recognize the talents and abilities that you bring every day. And some talents and abilities lay dormant, and they're waiting to be brought to the surface. What's up, Jordan? There's a lot of room to help people. Yes. Why don't we do it today? I had a psychology teacher, and he said that the surest way to get out of depression is to serve. It's almost, let's just call it a medicine, that you can't stay depressed if you are actively serving and helping someone else. The two things can't stay together. If you want to feel better, serve. The minute you serve, the minute you feel better. This psychology teacher ended up being syndicated. He was an amazing guy. He was at a local community college, but his experience and his breadth of knowledge was so deep. And he would just say things like that, like, you can't stay depressed if you're serving others. So if you want to feel better today, if you're trying to figure out a way you can serve today. And it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could be just in a small way. But let me get into the topic. Oysters and irritation. I mean, you probably know where I'm going with that. Oysters and irritation. And a couple notes I wrote down just to create new ways to enjoy the moments of your life. The moments of your life, it's like a spring while we're alive. The moments are always there. This is a moment right now. Maybe there's something you can share. And I love the shares. Thanks, Jenna. Great concept. Always good to see you, Jordan. I agree. I feel better helping others. It's that simple. You know, it's really that simple. There's other ways to feel better, but I want to share with you the thing that maybe you can take in today. Maybe there's an irritation in your life. Are you irritated about something? I had an irritation yesterday. Yep, I'm going to share with you what happened with this situation. But I go use the oysters. The oysters. We know that oysters create pearls. We maybe have heard that a grain of sand gets in an oyster and it becomes an irritant, and the oyster, in an effort to relieve the irritant, creates the pearl, that smooth, round little ball that removes the irritant. Really, from what I've read, it's a parasite that gets in. It's a parasite that gets into the oyster, and that becomes the irritant. So think about the difference, right? Think about the difference between a grain of sand and a parasite. That, to me, creates a whole different meaning, right? A grain of sand is an irritant. Like if you've had one in your shoe, it's an irritant. But imagine if you had a bug or a bee in your shoe, right? Completely different thing. So your irritant could be something different. It could be something minor. It could be something major. But the idea here, can we turn it into a pearl? And I say, yes, we can. Yes, I'm irritated. My stove is broken. My knee is messed up. And I lost work tonight. There's always an irritant. I had a situation yesterday. I'm going to share with you my irritant and how it turned into a pearl. Okay? Are you with me? Yesterday, I get home, drive all the way home, 40, 45 minutes, and realize that I left my house key, my apartment key. I left it. Okay, first reaction, what? Irritated. I'm irritated. I left my keys. Have you ever left your keys somewhere? Have you ever lost your keys and you can't find your keys? Where are my keys? You start ripping everything apart. You're trying to figure out where the keys are. Well, I left mine. And it was probably, about 40 minutes away, 40-minute drive. I'm like, But then I started to think, okay, it is, right? The quicker we can accept it. And if you want to grab a slogan, this is an extremely valuable slogan that I always say with people that I work with one-on-one is expect it, accept it, so you can move past it. That's a very powerful thing if you can grasp it. The quicker we can accept what has happened, the quicker we can accept what has happened, right? The quicker we can move past it. But we expect crap to go wrong. Just expect things are to go wrong. We walk around with this model that things aren't supposed to go wrong. My stove isn't supposed to break. My knee's not supposed to have a problem. But if you expect that things are going to happen, and then the quicker you accept it, then you can move past it. So I accepted it quickly. I drove back. I ended up giving my mom a call. I said, why don't I turn this into a visit? So I took my mom and I picked her up. We took a ride. We had some valuable time to talk. We stopped. We got a bite to eat. Yes, I got home a little bit later, but to me, that's a pearl. It's taking the moment and making it better and turning it into something positive. And guess what? I totally forgot about my keys. So whatever's going on, what can you do to turn it into a positive? And maybe the most positive thing you can do is simply move on. Is simply just accept what has happened and stack another positive event on top of it, kind of like my story. That's what I have for you today. Can you take these moments that come up and turn them into value, turn them into a pearl? And I want to invite you to do it today. And the moments of life keep coming. Your feelings will rise, your feelings will fall. Don't be upset because you feel bad. Don't be in a state, like I said earlier, you feel bad because you feel bad. You feel bad, accept it. Draw from it. What can you get from? If you're getting from that down moment, it's valuable. If you're thinking the down moment shouldn't be, it's debilitating. It locks you. It's like putting handcuffs on yourself. Do you follow me? So if you're in a down moment and you're saying this should not have happened, you're putting handcuffs on yourself. The quicker you can accept what has happened, you become free. You're free. You release yourself from it. So look for ways today to turn irritants into pearls, to take the moments of your life and make them better, to realize your true value, to realize that you are giving light, even in the smallest way, a smile, opening a door, a conversation with a stranger, a random act of service with no desire to get anything in return. These are the true gems of life that most people don't consider because they're too busy looking at the mountaintop and they're not enjoying each step that leads to the mountaintop. Let me change the question. Will you message me and let me know when you do this today or next week? Will you let me know what happens where you turn an irritant into a pearl, a moment into a present or a gift? When you do that and you have a story, let me know. And you can do it as early as today. And I'll go back to my psychology teacher to close this out. He said that most psychosis is hyper-focused on the self. When you're hyper-focused on you and what you're not getting, or the way things should be, you're going straight down the road of depression, psychosis. If you want to get out of that, take one small step into an act of serving others with no desire to get anything in return. Let that marinate. I think this is a great way to end this live video. You'll be seeing a lot more of me. So I want to just say, I love you guys. God bless you. Have an outstanding day.